Greetings and welcome. My name is Ryan O'Rourke, and today we are painting a starry night sky atop a vast landscape. Now, this painting was done in acrylics. All of the pigments and brushes used will be listed in the description box down below, and if you have any questions or inquiries regarding today's tutorial or anything we cover, please leave me a comment and I'd be more than happy to attend to it and help you in any way that I can. Now, all of that being said, this is a shorter lesson. However, if you are really enjoying it, if you'd like to see more, in the description you'll find a link to my website where you can find the full 3-hour cut where we just take you from start to finish and it's all in real time. So all of that being said, thank you so much for watching and let's get into it. We are going to begin on our starry night sky by mixing a fairly neutral purple and applying it to the top of our sky. Now we're doing so with a round-headed brush, and this brush is fantastic because it doesn't have any sharp edges, and so all of your gradients and or applications are going to be fairly soft. They won't have any hard edges. From there, I'm going in and mixing a highlight color and applying it to the bottom. I'm then applying a darker tone to the top, creating a vignette so that the eye is drawn in towards the middle of the piece. I'm taking a blue and I'm applying that over all of my blacks just to ensure it has a little bit of additional depth, and then applying a real orangey yellow light to the horizon area. I'm then taking more additional brighter purple and with a tapping motion applying it to my canvas. This is going to imply stars in the great distance, and it'll be a great base layer for our actual stars. I'm slowly just grabbing brighter colors and applying them atop each other. From there, I'm taking my small round-headed brush and just flinging paint at the canvas, creating a myriad of legitimate stars. Now here you can see me using a myriad of insanely crazy hand motions, and that is just being done because I am further explaining the process in the real-time version. With that being said, we are now going down and working on the mountains. This first application is incredibly vibrant and very much borrows colors from the sky. This is generally a great idea to keep the piece cohesive. However, I do end up redoing these in a more neutral tone upon the second and third layers. From there, we begin to go in and work on all of our land masses, and I'm doing so simply with a black pigment and a small square-headed brush. It's a fantastic brush to use for that scenario because it can hold a lot of paint and create sharp edges. From there, I am just applying a very dark base tone to all of my water, and then, like the sky, I'm going in and applying the lighter layers over top. Now, I didn't avoid all of the land masses in the middle, however, we can easily draw those back in. The water itself is going to be crystal clear and highly reflective, so I'm just recreating essentially what we have in the sky. This means a myriad of tapping motions and just building those lights over darks as we did initially. It also means applying stars to the water area, which is extremely efficient because now in one piece we've done it twice, and we should have a fairly good understanding of it. From there, I am simply redrawing and blocking in all of my additional trees and going back and desaturating my mountains. I decided to desaturate my mountains because when you add a gray to something, everything around it really pops, and by ensuring that these mountains are in this realm of saturation, the rest of the piece really stands out. It really brings the eye to the sky and to the water as well, and that's really where I wanted it. Sometimes you need to sacrifice miniature portions of the painting to ensure that the entirety of it is the best it can be. From there, I am taking my small liner brush and just outlining in a tapping motion the edge of my mountains, then slowly bringing the brush in, creating this real depth and contrast. We are adding light to the edge because the light from behind the mountains is emitting on them, and it's just creating this brilliant light showing off all of their beautiful little intricacies and details. I'm then just finishing up the edge, as I seem to have forgotten to do, and just fixing up little areas there as well. Now, finally, I am mixing a very dark green, and you notice we did all of this with only 3 colors, red, yellow, and blue. It's because they are primary colors, and you can really mix just about everything with them. From there, using a plethora of vertical strokes, I just implemented all of these little trees with a smaller square-headed brush. It was easy because it had a sharp line, and when you're doing something similar like this, I would just implore you to use varying levels of green. This will make it a much more auspicious endeavor. As I get farther away in the painting, I'm applying less pressure with my brush on these trees, and they're becoming much softer. So they're really blending into the background, and it's creating this great depth and instilling exactly what we want in that regard. As you come closer in the painting to the foreground, things should get a little bit sharper. And as you move farther in the background, they should get a little bit softer. From there, I am going back in and applying additional light to the edges of my mountains, and while I do that, I'm actually feathering the edges of my mountains. Just as we were talking about the highlights and softening everything, I wanted to soften the background just a little bit, and that gave me an easy way to do so. Now I am just working on some fog and mist in the foreground. I'm beginning by following the tree lines, and then I'm moving out onto the water, because fog doesn't travel solely on the land. It's also important to note that when applying this fog, I'm working in horizontal strokes and occasionally blending it with my finger. I'm letting certain portions of the fog be less dense than others, and this is just going to add to the interesting realism of it all. Now, because we are working with this water and it's so reflective, the back of it is really going to be almost the same light color as the sky, and so I just needed to go back in and reinstill all of that. From here, I'm adding a slight wash to the edges of my mountains because they will be absorbing the warmth and the light from the background, and that's just done by taking very, very, very thin watered down paint and applying it over your subject. If you thin it down enough, you simply won't lose any of the detail underneath. From there, I'm going in and I'm just blocking in my large tree over here in the left. I'm doing it simply by beginning with a silhouette and starting with very basic shapes, as you can see. Then I go back and I add all of my foliage. I am ensuring that all of the areas of my trees are different. Creating that diversity is going to make your painting look so much more real. And I'm also leaving little holes within the tree, as they are going to also add to that realism. Light is going to pass through this tree, and not all of the foliage is going to be equally thick. So you need to remember to create inconsistencies within it. Now I'm also creating some duality by applying 2 other trees on the other side of my painting. I'm making this a different type of tree to ensure diversity, and while I'm painting these branches, I'm ensuring that no 2 branches are just beside each other. They're either a little bit above or a little bit below. I'm also intersecting a couple of them, and I'm leaving some area of the trees a little bit less flourished than others. And that's just because it's natural. You don't want to apply the same amount of leaves to every portion of your tree because some are going to be flying off and moving, and in that regard I just moved a couple of leaves from my far left tree over to the far right via the wind, because now it's really going to guide the eye all the way around the painting from one very large monolithic silhouette to the other. From there, I am going in and adding highlights and just creating a little bit of depth. The light is going to reach this, but minorly. And so I'm adding highlights to all of the edges and slightly inwards to my trees. So we use a little bit of burnt umber for the tree stump, and we're also using some mixed green for the foliage and trees itself. Now it's important not to solely do the edges because light will pass through portions of it and also get to other pieces of the tree as well. All of those same rules apply for this other tree, and we are just quickly applying all of that, coming to a very nice little finished painting right here. So there we have it, the final painting. Now if you really enjoyed this and you'd like to see more, again there is a full 3-hour real-time version to this painting in the description where I talk you through all of it. We talk about depth, shadows, doing a myriad of different things, but I truly hope you enjoyed, and I will definitely see you next week. And there we have it, our completed painting. I truly hope that you feel like you've learned something, that you can take something away. But again, if you have any questions or inquiries, leave me a comment and I'd be more than happy to attend to it. So with all of that being said, if you'd like to see more of my work, if you'd like to send me a message, there's a link to my Facebook in the description below. There is also a link to my newsletter, where if you sign up, I will send you these videos every Saturday. You don't have to go looking for them, you don't have to worry about them, they will just be there. Also, if you would like a longer version of this, again, there's that on my website, there's a link in the description. We spend 3 hours painting this from start to finish. I break it down into easy steps, and we just have a lot of fun together. So with all of that being said, thank you so much for watching. My name's Ryan O'Rourke. I post every Saturday. I hope to see you next Saturday. And above all, stay creative.